Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
Oh, goodness, I feel like I've got to wear glasses. It's just so bright in here. I have a new light. That's what that whole goof was. I have a new light, and it's great, and I love it. I love you. But Dodger, maybe you should talk about some other news, like that has to do with video games. God, you're just so needy. Okay, fine. If you have yet to hop into Dishonored 2, Bethesda is giving you a very good opportunity. Part of the game is now going to be free. Like, I don't know, if you're the sort of person who looks at it and says, this looks kind of complicated, or I don't know, I can't tell if it's the right kind of game for me. Like, maybe I'd love it, but maybe I'd hate it. You can now play the first 3 missions for free. They did establish, because this is always a concern, right? They did establish that however much you save during the game, if like say you did the first mission and you were like, this game's bomb, I'm gonna buy it, right? Then everything that you did in that first mission will save. Like anything that happens on your account during that free trial will carry over into the full game. Okay, yes, it is live now. It exists on Steam, PSN, and Xbox Live, so you can pretty much do this free trial wherever you want. Again, some people are saying there's no limit on the trial, and some people are saying it's not really specified, so use caution there. But you can, for sure, you can play the first 3 missions at least once. So yeah, check that out. That game got a lot of really, really good scores. It's so bizarre to me because the first Dishonored, I feel like a lot of people passed over, but it got really good scores. And Dishonored 2, a lot of, you know, just like us, like general consumer people, a lot of general consumers passed over Dishonored 2 as well, but it's another one that got a really good score. So this is probably just their way of, you know, kind of reaching out to people that didn't really give it the time of the day. The time of the day on my watch. I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today, but you see what I mean. For our one bit of April Fool's news, because look, I covered it on AMA News. I feel like I have to cover at least one April Fool's thing in the gaming sphere, although gaming didn't take it nearly as seriously as anime, but that's okay, I'll forgive it. Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare like re-release, right? They added in a mode that was literally prop hunt. If any of you have ever played or watched other people play the Garry's Mod prop hunt, it's literally that, but in Call of Duty. And people loved it so much. Sometimes you see this happen. They say that there's a goof and then the goof becomes reality. But so many people loved it that they're actually petitioning to have it be a regular mode in the game. Now here's my question. Who do they need to go to about that? Like, prop hunt has existed for a very long time inside of Garry's Mod. Do they need to go to Valve and be like, hey? It's just very curious to me. They literally just called it prop hunt. Like it's the same kind of an idea, right? You're in Call of Duty and other players could be a trash basket that you walk by. They could be a tree, right? And so you have to pay super close attention. Like it's exactly prop hunt, except it's inside of Call of Duty. So I'm very curious whether or not they could get away with just doing that, just being like, ugh, I will apologize later if it's a problem, or if there's people specifically that they need to go to about that. Either way, I'm always a fan of that. This whole concept of here's a fairly serious game, and here's a mode that's not serious at all. I think that helps balance the community a lot. It gives people different kinds of outlets with the same mechanics that they already enjoy, you know? So, if they can keep prop hunt on there and the community loves it that much, then I'm rooting for you guys. I hope that you get it. A new Overwatch comic came out called Uprising, but you know, it's one of those like moving comics, right? You boot up the webpage and then you like click through it and it animates little aspects of it and stuff like that. It's cool, I enjoy it. But oh my goodness, everyone is so thirsty for Genji. So this comic takes place pretty far in the past. We get to see Lena or Tracer. We get to see Tracer as she's just been taken under the wing of Overwatch, right? And they're dealing with some Omnic crisis-esque things. And we get to see Genji as like a Blackwatch agent? It's pretty awesome. Everybody's speculating that we're probably going to get a lot of the outfits that we saw in this comic as future skins, including a Blackwatch Genji outfit. It's also created just the worst jokes. Like, some of the worst jokes I've seen in a while, because look, okay, so Genji has like this part of his body out, like you get to see like skin Genji and everybody's like, oh, but he's also showing the same nipple that Hanzo is. So now there's like this weird same tit goof. But anywho, the comic itself really gave a lot of people fodder to sort of speculate about different skins, some different situations that we might see in the future, like event possibilities. But I gotta say, for the most part, everybody's just talking about Genjo. That's sweet, sweet Genjo. Which rolls perfectly into our sponsor for gaming news today, Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Look, let's be real, okay? People are gonna start writing all kinds of Blackwatch Genji fanfic and making all kinds of beautiful Blackwatch Genji art. It's already happening. And what I need is a website where somebody finds all the good stuff and makes a rec list. But where are you supposed to put that rec list? How are you going to make sure that it not only beautifully displays all of those gorgeous pictures of Genji and has a easy to read list of all of the fanfics, you know, split up by what type of genre they are? If you want to take up that mantle, Squarespace has got you covered with so many different types of layouts that you can use. You don't have to patch anything, you don't have to upgrade anything. It's all in one. They've got great customer service, and then you can create the fan website for Genji of your dreams. I mean, my dreams, but also your dreams. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code DODGER to get 10% off your first purchase. Okay, so now that we're all done being thirsty, let's get back to the gaming news. EVE Online players are going to start helping the scientific community yet again. The developers of EVE CCP have collabed with Reykjavik University yet again to do a second stab at Project Discovery. The first Project Discovery, if none of you ever heard about this, first Project Discovery had them combing through lots of human DNA. Basically just combing through like hundreds of thousands of pictures to find anomalies in cells. And what did they get out of this? In-game currency. God, it's just so smart. So this next round of Project Discovery will have them looking through actual space to try and find anomalies in pictures of the solar system. So again, just to make this clear, you get in-game currency in exchange for looking at pictures of space and marking anomalies. Any pictures that have been marked as anomalous by lots of different players will then be further scrutinized by the actual faculty and students. It creates a situation where they get a lot of data. Instead of having one person going through all the pictures and being like, I think maybe there's something there, and typing in a little description being like, I don't know, there's a thing, I think. Instead, you have, maybe 100 people who all mark the exact same picture. And then the people who actually know what the frick they're looking for, right? What's going on, can look at it and really dissect it. I think that this is such a cool collaboration. Anything like this where it's the scientific community needs people to do busy work, and we'll give you stuff for the game. It's yeah! So EVE Online players, congrats. You get another chance to actually help out the scientific community while the rest of us don't do anything. I'm only going to talk about this a little bit because so many people have asked that I do it. There has been so much drama ever since Persona 5 came out because Atlus put out a statement basically being if you spoil this game for anybody, we're shutting you down. Everyone has been looking forward to Persona 5. It's been such an exciting release for a lot of us, although Persona isn't necessarily a huge franchise, right? It's still a little bit niche, but it's weird and fun. And for months now, I've been Persona 5 when. So it's been a huge bummer to YouTubers and streamers because Atlus put out a statement saying, don't ruin any of the story elements, don't show any of the cutscenes, you can only show some gameplay, and you can't play past Chapter 7. It's what? Again, reinforcing this idea that kind of older Japanese game companies think that we ruin sales. So here's the logic, right? They believe that if someone comes into your stream and watches your stream, then they'll never buy the game. We know, because we interact with you guys all the time, that the way that it actually goes is we're playing a very story-heavy game, right? And then people will come into chat and say, hey, do you like this game? They'll say, yeah, or eh. And then they'll say, cool, I've been really excited for it. I'm actually gonna leave because I don't wanna spoil myself. Or they'll show up for the very beginning, right? They'll watch the beginning of the game and be like, wow, this actually looks really cool. I'm gonna leave because I think I wanna play it myself. There's this really weird disconnect with how streaming is viewed. They see us as like cannibalizing potential buyers, whereas for the most part over here, it's seen as, oh my gosh, this is giving us, you know, so much more visibility. More people are finding out about the game and seeing how cool the game is and then buying it. Now, whether or not, you know, we would get any numbers about a game like Persona 5 and whether or not streamers ever helped, I don't know. But we have seen graphs like that in the past for other games, like the fact that, you know, streaming a game or playing a game on YouTube can absolutely help the visibility of it and help people realize like, oh, this is a really cool game that actually seems like it would be perfect for me. It's caused like a lot of tension because instead of Atlus saying, hey, we would really appreciate it if you maybe thought about not streaming it, instead they were like, we will take you down, we will DMCA you, we will shut down your stream. Don't do it. To which a lot of people are saying, I do what I want because it's my stream and I'm gonna play what I want. So it's just been very strange, but this is an issue that a lot of us deal with anyway, right? This whole like miscommunication between us and Japanese companies, then like completely not trusting us at all. And obviously we have a lot to learn as well about like what's the best way for us to help out a company and make sure that, you know, people not only are seeing a cool game, but also know how to find it, things like that. Ways that we can help each other, but being super antagonistic is not ever gonna help. So if you've seen way less people than you thought streaming Persona 5, that's why. If you've seen way less people than you thought playing Persona 5 on YouTube, that's why. Literally can't show anything except for like some gameplay. Can't show you cutscenes. Can't like, you might as well just not even play it. Might as well just say like, yeah, I played that game on my own and I had fun. And let other people decide whatever they want. Anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you'd like to watch my streams, you can find them at twitch.tv/dexbonus, or you can find the VODs at youtube.com/dexteritybonus. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye. Mwah. On my watch.